Oh,
maybe I would be down here.
okay. Okay. Okay.
It's like photography.
101.
Yeah.
So Angel would probably be able to describe it better.
Hey, I just arrived. Describe what?
Oh, the rule of thirds for.
Oh yeah, well, if anyone's interested.
We were just talking about framing for the watcher who watches the
Yeah.
how people
Well,
live.
for this, I think we should ignore that and we should fill the frame, don't you? If everyone in the middle.
We're not artsy.
Right. And lighting.
No, this is live, so we want to see you. Right.
Okay.
Hey, we want to see you, Angel. Turn your video
Yeah,
on.
sorry. Yeah, that's why I'm late. Something's wrong, and I had to go and borrow someone else's computer, so there's no camera.
We're going to let
Oh.
Deanna get started.
Oh, darn.
Great
Yeah, let's
big day here.
If I want to speak to you, I'll do this. So raise my hand. Okay.
Wow. All right, people, let's go ahead and get this meeting rolling. Good to see everybody.
Hey.
Got hi everybody, and we've got Lawrence returning too. So welcome back, Lawrence. I'm so happy to see you. And we've got Anita signing on too, and they're just popping in. So I'll just okay. I want to just make a quick announcement. If we have time later on at the end of the meeting today, I'm going to ask some folks who attended the TLI, the Toastmasters Leadership Institute, to give some feedback as far as what they learned or what they thought of the session. And hopefully we'll have some time. The other thing I wanted to bring up is, remember long ago when we used to get together and then Devin would stand up there in front of the meeting room, and then she would pass that roll sheet around and everybody would have the opportunity to sign up for the roles? I am gonna have you guys be able to do that today. I'm gonna virtually pass that roll sheet around, and I'm gonna share my screen really quickly. And I wanted to ask you, how many people, and I wanna see your faces, how many people have the roll sheet saved on their computer? Okay, all right. So let me just show you how to do that really quickly. Now, this is the roll sheet, and you see the star here? That's when you can save it as a favorite, and when you bookmark it. So you click on that, and it becomes your bookmark. And then later on, let's say tomorrow, you want to refer back to this roll sheet. You go to here, look under your bookmark, and see where you put it. For me, I put it under Toastmasters, and I have the meeting schedule right there. So
Deanna, darling, not to interrupt you, but whatever you're pointing to is hidden by the pictures of our friends.
Oh.
It's only me, but I'm assuming it's all of us. We can't see what you're pointing to when you say.
Okay.
I can see it.
You can see it?
The pictures are a window. Move your cursor to the top, and you can drag it across.
Oh my God, sorry. Oh, okay, that's great to learn. Thank you very much.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just copy and paste this link. I'm gonna stop sharing, and I am going to chat it to you, everybody, and see if you can click on that link. And I'm just curious if you're able to see that. Are you able to, does it bring it up on your computer?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you wouldn't mind doing me and Pat a huge favor, and that would be if each of you can fill out your name in 2 spots, just 2. Could be any day. If we can focus on next week, that'd be great. If you want to do it 5 weeks from now, that's fine too. But if we all put in our name on the roll sheet in 2 of those spaces, that would be super helpful, and that'll help us save some time too. Okay, with that, I am going to go ahead and pass this to our first time Toastmaster. Let's welcome Jessie.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Thank you very much. This is actually my second time, but it's the first
Oh,
time.
sorry, second time.
In your reign, but it kind of feels like the first time. And welcome everybody. Well, I'm so excited today to have two great speakers, and we have great speakers every time, but this time it's especially fun because both speakers are well experienced and quite far along on their pathways journey. So I'm looking forward to their speeches today, Deanna and Lucille. And the theme of the day is gratitude. And the word of the day that Pat picked, thank you, Pat, for a great word, equilibrium. I love that word, equilibrium, because that's what all of life is, right? And I'm going to talk for just a second on gratitude. Oh,
that's me.
Okay, thank you. Maybe we'll mute this for a second. And I wanted to go ahead and give myself a second anyway, so I don't go over. But I have loved the idea of attitude of gratitude, right? So attitude of gratitude is a great way to live each day. And I have an author and a book that I actually love. And this is called The Gratitude Effect. And it's by Dr. John DeMartini. I may have mentioned him earlier, but I'm not quite sure how this translates. But he has several great quotes in here. And one thing that he talks about is that sometimes people will say, well, I will be grateful as soon as something good happens. And the thing is with that, the thing is we don't need to wait until something good happens, right? To have the attitude of gratitude. Because even if there's a crisis or something that we don't especially care for, if we examine the situation closely enough, we'll always find a gift there, or some learning, or some lesson, or some actual good thing that came of it, like somebody that we met, or some reason that we reached out, and something that progressed us in our journey of whatever we're doing. And I love a couple of quotes here that I just wanted to mention. One on page 6 by Miles Davis: "Do not fear mistakes, there are none." So the way we can look at mistakes is also in the way of gratitude. It's like, oh, what did I learn from that mistake, and what will I do differently? I think we've all heard that most millionaires have also, or multimillionaires have also lost a million in their quest for wealth building. And that's how you learn, and that's how you grow, and that's how you get stronger. Another quote here, oh, I love this one, because they ask, like, what's my purpose in life? How do I live a life of purpose and be grateful for that? And Richard Bach says, here's the test to find whether your mission on earth is finished. If you're alive, it isn't. I love that. And I think it's easy to work with children sometimes on the attitude of gratitude, and it's a really great habit to get into each and every day before you go to bed, to either write down or at least to go over in one's mind, who am I grateful for from these last 24 hours? Who am I grateful for, and what did they do that contributed to me? And then the last one I want to, the last little quote here from somebody named Alphonse Carr: "Some people grumble because roses have thorns. I am thankful that the thorns have roses." And so anyway, I love that. So we have a big day here, and we're going to just jump right in. Since we don't have any new guests, I think we know I'll just name them off real quick. Table Topics Master is Pat, Joke Master Megan, Aha Counter Charles, Grammarian Anita, Timer Paul, General Evaluator Angel, and Ballot Counter Jerry. Thank you very much. And our first entry is Megan, who is our Joke Master. Megan, are you ready? Take it away. Oh, let's see. Do we have Megan? And are you unmuted, Megan? Megan, you need to.
All right, sorry, I was muted.
Right.
Okay. Now, of course, everyone knows that laughing during this stressful time, like right now, can seem a bit strange or even hard to do. but we shouldn't be afraid of laughing during a crisis. It's for the best because it helps reduce stress and anxiety. Therefore, here are some sayings that keep me laughing. First, the quote, "Sorry, I'm practicing social distancing," is about to be the most popular breakup text of 2020. And second, I don't know who needs to hear this, but quarantine rules are airport rules. Have a drink at 9 a.m. if you want to. And 3, now this is a pro tip for all the couples out there, and for the couples currently working from home together. You need to get yourselves an imaginary coworker to blame things on. Not me is the one in our house. And not me keeps leaving a cup of water all around the house, but not me is looking at getting fired. And 4, quarantine has strained many marriages, but for us, it has enhanced our relationship. I'm so lucky to have the most loving husband. I mean, last night I woke up while he was holding a pillow tightly over my face to protect me from COVID-19. And 5, I slept 14 hours last night. Now I'm absolutely locked and loaded for a big day of hand washing and looking out the window. And finally 6, ripping off your mask when you get back in the car is the new take off your bra when you get home. So, girls
Thank
did.
you. Thank you, Megan.
Those are just sayings that keep me in laughter during the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always fun to have a good smile. So thank you, Megan. Appreciate it. And on to our speakers of the day. For speaker number 1 will be Lucille. Her title is Reflect on Your Path. And her objective is that it's a reflection on her pathways presentation mastery now that she's towards the end of it and her growth. And her time is, she's allotted 10 to 12 minutes, but she said that maybe she'll be able to get it in 6 or 8 minutes. So
Can we do 7 to 9, just in case?
yes, of course. I think you have the full time allotted.
Okay.
Just so you know, Jerry. Okay, thank you, Lucille. Go ahead. Warm welcome for Lucille.
Thank you, Jesse. I actually finished my path, Presentation Mastery, level 5, and this is only an extra speech that I wanted to do and to reflect on that path and the growth that I have while going through that path. As most of you know, I was from the traditional program for Toastmasters, so I had finished all of that 40, 50 speeches, I can't even remember now, and had my DTM. But I was a PQD at that time when Pathway was launched. So I thought, for a district leader, I need to lead by example, and I want to enroll in the Pathway program, and I picked Presentation Mastery. The reason I did Presentation Mastery is because I felt like I still need to polish my presentation. So reflecting on that and what I have accomplished, the little things that I have to the largest one, while I'm going through the Presentation Mastery, this is what they asked me to do according to this project. I have completed my path, level 5, and I find that having the pathway actually provides me a little bit more resources. Online, having to have an example with videos that you can watch rather than reading all of it, some exercises that you can take, some tips, and it's right there online. And for most people, they did not like that. I actually like that, because to me, that allows me to go through it rather than skip through it. I know some of you who went through the traditional, you probably did not read all the manuals that's there and all the instruction and the examples. So oftentimes it's too much to read, so you skip through. But this one, it kind of forced me to go through it, and I did, and I love that. I like that. So what I have completed that, I learned that I like the pathway, even though it kind of forced you to go through it. And to me, it's just more resources for me. What I have accomplished the most is being a district director. During that term, when I'm completing this path, it allowed me to pivot the pandemic, able to basically provide some kind of guidance in a very supportive way to all the 3,000 members that we have. So that allowed me to give me the confidence to do that, allowed me to pivot being online now for everybody, kind of give the guidance as well. It's also for the speech contest that we have online. So to me, that was a good accomplishment while going through my presentation for Pathways, and allowed me to speak with confidence. What I have accomplished outside of Toastmasters while going through this path, I'm still working. Kind of give me an idea what to do and how to provide guidance as well to my clients, as everybody is also pivoting out, from the normal way of doing things. The other thing is that the presentation mastery, for the longest time, I have not practiced any presentation that I do. I said to myself, I am going to do it impromptu. And because I want to be able to be smooth and spontaneous, and I know I need practice, 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 practice. And the only way for me to practice is not while I'm practicing before I give a speech. I want to practice right here when I'm giving it. So that kind of allows me to do that with presentation mastery. What I have learned, definitely I have more confidence doing it. Definitely I need more practice because my delivery is not as smooth as I would like it to be. And giving impromptu speech, all I do is oftentimes I have an idea in my brain and I said, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, but I never practice in front of anybody. I don't have a dog. I don't practice in front of Rick. I never do. And so this is my practice basically. And what I found out is that I still get the same response from my evaluation. Lucille, get out of your head. Lucille, you might want to have a better opening. Lucille, you need to have a better closing. So that teaches me a lesson that I have to just to keep doing Toastmaster and doing Pathways. That way I will be more polished the next time I give a presentation. The other thing that I've learned is this: with Toastmaster, I definitely, as I said earlier, have more confidence. I would probably not be able to talk in a large group. Being a district director, I'm often in front of a large group with presentation online, talking to people that I normally have not seen before. I don't know them. They know that I am a district leader, but oftentimes I don't know who they are. The very first time I meet them is during our events. So definitely different personality, different clubs that I've talked to. So that is very helpful for me. What would my next step would be? I would definitely continue to have another path. I don't know what it is yet. possibly next term, maybe next term or sometime in the future, maybe an ID, we'll see. Is that's again a volunteer work or an RA? I'm not sure about an RA. Some of you might not know what that is. That's a region advisor who helps like 5-8 districts. But an international director is in charge of the region who has oftentimes 8 districts. So we'll see. That's at least what I'm thinking about. How can I help the new members who are coming on board to Toastmaster? I'd like to be able to encourage the new members who are not in pathways yet, or even the ones that are not in pathways, that it is a new way of doing things. You can still want to order or print a manual material if you really like to read, because those are available. But for me, I find that the online ones are helpful, at least for me, even though I like to read, but also reading it online gives me 2 aspects of it. I'm visual, and I'm also like to be able to read and write. That helps me think better and makes me learn. So I'm both visual and I have to write something. With that, that is the reflection of my path, presentation mastery, which allowed me to practice. And I know that because when I was in high school, I was in a choir and we practiced every single day. And because of that practice, we became the #1 in our region as the high school choir when I was in high school. So my giveaway, or I want you to take away, is practice, and always be learning, because we will always learn and accomplish more if we are willing to open our mind and willing to learn. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lucille. How inspiring. And yes, what a labor of love you've given to the entire district for all your service. And I'm very impressed with your spontaneous speeches. I didn't know that. Okay, so we're going to do 1 minute now for speech evaluations. And I can time that. And we'll start now. And Cecile, if you could put in your email into the chat box for everyone in case they'd like to also email you. Okay, 1 minute starts now. $15 seconds. $5 seconds. Okay, we'll wrap that up. And now we're going to move directly into our second speaker for the day, who is Deanna. And Deanna's title is What Works and What Doesn't Work. Her objectives are that she's also in Pathways and she's in level 3 and working on team collaboration. And her time is 5 to 7 minutes. And please welcome Deanna.
Good afternoon, everybody. A few weeks ago, I had my first Expressions Unlimited board meeting, and it was a twofer. And what I mean by that is it accomplished 2 things for me. One, is I wanted to get together with my new board and to start strategizing for our new term. The second reason why I wanted to do it was because my pathways required me to put together a collaborative meeting. So it's just perfect timing. I learned through reading the pathways that there's 3 elements to making a successful collaborative meeting. One is the members. And what I mean by the members is understanding myself as a member, the benefits that I have that can contribute to the team, as well as the members of the executive board and their strengths and what they could bring to the team. When we attended the officers meeting by Toastmasters, they gave us a evaluation, and basically it was a behavioral style assessment test. And I'll show you how it looks. And this way I could understand a little bit more about myself. I want to share my screen. It's kind of a different assessment because you had to choose between 2 statements. So for example, between 1 and 2, which one is more me? So I would pick 1. And between 3 and 4, which one is more like me? And I had to go through this whole thing, and there was 36 statements. And you end up determining or finding out which one is your strength, so to speak. There isn't a bad answer, but there's 4 different categories. And this is things that you've probably heard of before. One being dominance, and that is a controller, a director kind of a person. The second is influence, and that trait is more of a promoter, a socializer. The third one is steadiness, more of a supporter and a relator. And the other one is a compliance, which is more of an analyzer and a thinker. And I'm just curious, I'm going to put this poll together. Devin's helping me out. I'm curious as far as which one of these characteristics do you think I am? And just take 2 seconds and just pick which one comes closest to what you believe best describes me. Are we done?
I put my answer. You should see it.
Oh, I don't see it. I have Devin doing it.
Oh,
so
Devin will see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, the vote splitted 50-50 between influence and steadiness.
Okay, that's interesting. So when I took the test, this is how I scored. Let's see. I scored 4, 4, 5, and 5. And this was the second time I took the test. I did it another time, and it was 5, 5, 4, 4. So it was very, very close. They just kind of swapped. But after doing this, I kind of thought to myself, what can I bring to our team? And I think with understanding that I'm a little bit of everything, I'm able to at least help communicate or understand where people are coming from. And that's just something that I've been able to glean off of that. And I'm trying to learn about the other members within our executive team. And so we're still working on that. I'm still waiting to hear back from some of the other folks, but that's a work in progress. Now, the second ingredient is building trust. And how I helped to build trust was to understand from the executive members their opinion about the club. And I wanted to build trust in the sense that I wanted to hear their opinion, but I wanted them to send me their responses privately instead of sending it to everybody. So I had each of the executive members tell me what works and what doesn't work. In essence, what are things that you like about Expressions Unlimited? And what are some things that you feel we can work on? So they were able to send me these messages privately, and during the meeting, I wanted each person to participate. And that's giving them a voice in expressing how they feel. So instead of me reading all the opinions of what people thought, I had each person, each member read through these phrases. And so that helped to create more discussion. A third area is having results. That's a third component to having a good collaborative meeting. And having good results is being able to work with individuals that are willing to commit and be accountable. And people are more willing to commit if they have a share, a voice in speaking. And I think that opportunity of us bringing up areas that we can improve the club provided open discussion for everybody. And the other thing that Toastmasters recommends is encouraging creative and passionate debate. And I don't think we really had any debate during our first meeting, but we did have a lot of good discussion. And so I'm looking forward to more opportunities of getting together with my team as the executive board, as well as sharing some of the things with you as far as the general membership. In conclusion, I learned about members, myself, what I could bring in, as well as the benefits and the personality strengths of my team members, and also building trust, how important that is to maintain good communication, and also having results. And with that, I want to expand on the what works and what doesn't work by sharing it with all of you. I would really love to hear from each and every one of you. So if you could send me an email, just send it to me privately, and don't spend a lot of time on it. It should take no more than 5 minutes. Just tell me what you like about Expressions Unlimited and what you think we could improve on. What would you like to see improve? And that would be wonderful. And the deadline, because since it's always good to have a deadline in order to get results, is if you can email that to me by the end of today, that would be wonderful. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Jesse.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Deanna. How great, and what a great indication of your collaborating with all of us as your team. It really makes us feel like we are a part of something useful and meaningful. Thank you. And now we'll have a 1-minute evaluation period of silence, and go ahead and start now. And Deanna, probably everybody has it, but could you put your email in the chat room for everybody? Thank you. Fifteen seconds.
Are you guys ready?
No, you're 45.
5 seconds. Okay, very good. Now, Paul, sorry, I got you mixed up with Jerry a minute ago. Is there a timers report? Could you give us a timers report on each of the speeches?
Yeah, that happens all the time. Jerry and I, we mix each other.
Does it?
All the time. Lucia was 9:08, so she was within time. And Deanna was overtime at 7 minutes, 39 seconds.
All right. So there you have it. And thank you, Paul. All right, so we'll move on with our evaluators. And Stacy is the evaluator for Deanna. And Stacy, take it away. Nice applause.
Angel is the general evaluator, so maybe
Did you want to evaluate Deanna?
No, I'd like to introduce her, please, but you've already done that.
Okay.
So let her
Sorry, we didn't do it that way last week. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No problem.
Stacy's actually, by the way, my evaluator because I gave her the,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, Stacy's Lucille's, okay.
Mhm.
Let's hear it for Stacy, everybody.
Sure. Hey, there we go. Thank you. Lucille, you did a speech on reflecting on your path of mastery. And the first thing you explained was why you did this speech in addition to already finishing your task of mastery. And you listed the reasons. You told us what you learned, and you also, I heard you list benefits. And I saw a lot of confidence and smoothness in how you transitioned from those three different parts that you mentioned. I love that you said pivot the pandemic. I thought that was a great expression. You also told us how Toastmasters ties in with your business and your clients. And I loved your transparency on how you shared about the voices in your head. You were very open with that. And I think that's a very positive thing to say. It makes us feel you're very human. What I saw was a smiling face and great hand motions. You did a wonderful job with your hands and even tapping your chest. You had a great recommendation to the audience to encourage us to practice, practice, practice. So there was a little call to action at the end of the speech. So what I did think about for improvement would be to, I hear hesitancy in your flow sometimes, which may indicate a desire for perfectionism. And the only reason I can pick up on that is because I do the same thing. I notice it. You always notice things that you do yourself. So I think that's something that could be improved on, just to let it flow a little bit smoother and more together. Other than that, it was a great speech, and I got a lot from it. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you very much, Stacy. I am going to now introduce our second evaluator, if I may. Thank you. That will be Devon, who is coming in to evaluate Deanna. Please welcome Devon.
Thank you. Deanna, excellent job. It was so nice to hear kind of your experience starting as our new club president, and how fortuitous that the timing worked out for this project for you. I thought you outlined the topic very well. You emphasized the three elements and then went through them, give each one, a fair amount of time so we could understand the point and what action you were taking to achieve that goal. I think for me, the thing I would say to improve, you were rocking back and forth a little bit, which was a little bit distracting. I think you might sit on a ball, is my guess. Might have attributed to that. So just when you're on screen, just to hold the position as much as possible. You did have good eye contact with the camera and a good smile on your face, as always. So that was excellent. The conclusion, I love that there was a call to action and getting the club involved. I would just say it felt a tiny bit abrupt, and all of a sudden it was done. So maybe just a little bit more on the wrapping up piece. And then finally, I loved that you used a poll. We have a unique opportunity with Zoom to try different things that we haven't done. So I will just throw that out there as well, since I'm the meeting host. If anybody wants to do that, you can do what Deanna did and contact me ahead of time, and we can play around with some of the Zoom features. So with that, I'll give it back over to Angel. Thank you.
Thank you, Devon. Great evaluation and some good ideas as well there. Thank you. I'm going to pass the meeting back to you, Jessie. Take it away.
All right. Thank you, Angel. My apologies for ignoring that. Yeah, I was to introduce you there. It's right there on the agenda that I provided this morning. So now we'll have a timer to report by Paul for the evaluators.
Both evaluators qualified.
Thank you. And thank you very much. And now we'll go on for our table topics, moving along here, 12:39. And Pat is our table topics master. Go right ahead, Pat.
Pat, you're still muted.
Sorry about that. So the theme, I'm grateful for that, someone pointing that out. The theme is gratitude, and I find that gratitude is a good way to get back in balance if I'm anxious or, be fearful of something. Sometimes I just look at it and say, what can I be grateful for? And you can't be grateful and in fear at the same time, is what I heard. So the word of the day is equilibrium. I'll share my screen with the definition. See, oh, this is weird. Got a different screen now. Okay, well, I'll just pull it up and read it. Give me 1 second. Okay, equilibrium is a state of balance between opposing forces or actions that is either static or dynamic. A state of intellectual or emotional balance. So some of the questions for me are, what do I do to achieve that equilibrium? I like to relax at home. Sometimes I can't relax until the house is straightened up or cleaned. I like to vacuum or do the dishes, and then I can calm down. Just bring me a sense of balance. What part of your daily routine do you do that brings you into a balance or helps you relax, like maybe walking the dog or watering the plants or just sitting down on the couch watching TV? Does anyone have like a go-to as soon as they get home that they or when they get up to kind of bring balance? Anita, go ahead. You gotta unmute. Thanks, Anita.
Sorry about that. Hi, everybody. I like to just start out my day with being grounded and in gratitude. And when I get up in the morning, about 5 or 5:30, I just pour myself a cup of coffee, take care of a few chores, and then sit down as long as it takes. Usually I sit there for a half hour and I read or just reflect on the day and how I'm going to work the day to, and this time that I spend gives me equilibrium and balance for the entire day. Thank you.
Great job. Great job. Thanks. So some people are very sensitive to smells, or other people, they love to have aromatherapy oils everywhere. I like incense or candles sometimes. Does anyone have like a favorite smell or a candle or a flower that helps them relax? Maybe they have in their house. Let's see. How about Charles?
Thanks, Pat. Let's just say that smells bring me no equilibrium. I either like a smell or I don't like a smell. And when it comes to something that at least makes me happy, I'll talk about that because I like food. And, there's nothing better than the smell of, barbecue or we have a garden. We have our COVID garden, and we are now harvesting zucchini and other vegetables. And there's nothing like smelling your labor, your efforts with some garlic and some salt. I would highly recommend doing that, having a garden, and actually being able to cook the things that you enjoy. That actually is pleasurable and soothing, but I don't know that it brings much balance.
Great, great, great. You actually touched on a couple of things that I wanted to bring up. Speaking of cooking, everyone has a favorite snack or food, comfort food that maybe helps them to settle in or and brings joy. I like to make a smoothie when I want to just calm down or get ready for work. But I used to like quesadillas actually, so I would make just a simple quesadilla with cheese and onions. I saw Sam, the cooking guy, made them. But does anyone have a favorite comfort food or snack that they keep at the ready? Stacy?
Thank you, Pat, for that question. Of course I do. It's popcorn. I don't know how I got so addicted to popcorn. In fact, years ago, I used to pop popcorn almost every night. And it just like, it wasn't the day wasn't complete until I had my popcorn. But since then, I've realized that I don't need to eat it every day. And in order to have equilibrium, I need to have other snacks that maybe are a little healthier, like an apple or an orange, or get something like out of the refrigerator, like a carrot, just something that's not just complete salt and butter and carbs. But I still keep a big bag. In fact, I was in Costco the other day and I was waiting for somebody to come pick me up because my car was getting worked on. And I kept seeing all these humongous bags of popcorn going out at Costco. I came back to pick up my car and I went in and bought the big bag of popcorn. So that's my equilibrium. Thank you.
That's awesome. I was on a popcorn kick for a while. I remember I had the little popcorn popper because it's cheap too if you just get the kernels. So I know it's carbs though. So some people have an activity that they enjoy, which brings me to activity. That some people have activities like fishing or hiking or gardening. And then there's always shopping therapy, of course, which my girlfriend calls her exercise. Is there an outdoor activity that anyone enjoys that brings a little balance, a little calm to them? Ooh, we got double. We'll go with Jerry.
Thanks, Pat. One of the activities that I like to do is to do bicycling. I take my bicycle out and I ride along the coast highway from my house in Carlsbad. I go down to Encinitas or sometimes farther. And it brings me equilibrium because you get the wind in your face, you're going fast, you go uphill, you go downhill. You have to pay attention. You have to really pay attention to, cars, people, bicycles, that kind of thing. But it's a fun thing to do. And sometimes I'll bike with other people, get a group of people together so it can be social. But it's also challenging because you really do get a pretty intense workout when you're coming on the hill. Coming back up to Carlsbad to my house is a pretty high climb. So I think it's a good workout, but it just kind of brings you in balance. And you feel good after you're done, even though you're pretty hot and sweaty. But I do like to use it for transportation too. I miss taking my bicycle and riding the Toastmasters. That was always kind of fun. So I do miss that. And now I'm just doing the Zoom, but it's all good. Thanks.
Thanks, Jerry. Speaking of activities, COVID has forced a lot of us to do indoor activities. I like playing music gardening's not really indoor unless you have indoor plants. But is a lot of indoor activities, does anyone have like an indoor activity that they've kind of picked up or has become more popular? Oh, Megan. You got to unmute Megan.
I don't know if everyone remembers, one of my later speeches was all on playing games at home and how much the benefits of playing a game at home and the benefits of playing cards, or the physical movements and the attention and the speaking with the other players, and just that I think totally enriches. And as everyone knows, if you're all alone in the room or wherever, you can do a puzzle. And so do a puzzle. That'll keep your mind active, and you'll be thinking about the tactical places on the board where you could put your piece. So I think that there are a ton of games that you can play at home. I mean, even if you just have a pack of cards, I mean, you can play solitaire if you want to, or even look up online any other solo games of cards. And so you can definitely enrich your mind and keep it active, if not keep physically active. We don't need to be all dolts over this quarantine. We gotta keep active. If not physically, keep our mind active. Thanks.
Thanks, Megan. Do we have time for another one, or?
We'll squeeze in one more real quick.
Okay. My mom likes to watch Super Soul Sunday. It's like a show on Sundays, I guess, with I think Oprah. And I have friends that are all into cooking shows. Does anybody have a favorite show or thing that they would like to watch to kind of keeps them on their routine or keeps them balanced? Or how
Let's
about
have Debbie or Lawrence answer that.
Oh, okay. Hey, or it could be a music that you listen to. Lawrence, anything, any kind of activities that you find keep you going?
Inside activities that help me to balance and maintain my equilibrium. Well, you mentioned music. And the last 3 semesters at Palomar, I've been taking a jewelry metalsmithing and design course. So in one room of my house, I've set up my bench. So I put on, check it out, on Pandora, Squirrel Nut Zippers. It's fantastic. That's the channel. It is just all kinds of off the wall, kind of jazzy, bluesy, 30s, 40s stuff that you never even think about listening to, all obscure artists, but that combined with the physical activity of working with my wires and my stones, helps me maintain my equilibrium and my peace of mind. Thank you.
Great job. Yeah, that's like, I remember I've heard that band. They're kind of like ska, but little nostalgic music. So
yeah, they're awesome.
Thank you. And I guess I will turn it back over to the Toastmaster.
All right. Thank you, Pat. That was a really intriguing and very engaging table topics. I appreciate it. Thank you. We enjoyed that. And now we look for a timer's report from Paul for the table topics.
Yes, all speakers qualified.
Thank you. And now for a grammarian report by Anita on did everybody use the word of the day?
Hi, everybody used the word except for Megan, and she did not use the word equilibrium. Sorry, Megan.
Okay, thank you. And then I neglected to write down all the names of everybody that qualified for table topics?
So I'll tell you, it's Anita, Charles, Stacy, Jerry, and Lawrence.
Okay, very good. Thank you for picking up the slack there, Paul and Lawrence. Okay, thank you. And while people are voting for all for the table topics, we'll have Charles give the report on the counter.
Okay. In the interest of time, I'm just gonna rattle off. I did it myself. Charles had one and one ah. Devin, perfect. Deanna, there was a couple of times where you repeated okay, used okay as a crutch word. Jesse, 2 ums and then 1 but. Paul, perfect. Pat, 3 so's, 1 Megan, there was 1 and then you Xeroxed I a couple of times. Jerry, there was 1 so. Stacy, there was 1 so. Anita, 1 Everyone else was perfect.
Very good. Thank you, Charles. And then our grammarian is Anita.
Where's the ballot counter?
The ballot counter is Jerry. Yeah, Jerry.
All right.
The ballot counter. And then our grammarian is Anita. Can we get a grammarian report, Anita?
Thank you, Jesse. Everybody did really well. Everything was interesting. I loved also, this has already been brought up, that Lucille said, pivot the pandemic. We hear it a lot. We hear pivot a lot, but I hadn't heard it put that way and kind of with that tone. It was very cool. And she was also talking about smooth and spontaneous. So, which her speeches normally are very smooth and spontaneous. Devin used the word fortuitous, and I haven't heard that word in a long time, and I really enjoyed hearing it again. And Charles was talking about his COVID garden, and I think that's becoming a thing these days. And I'm really enjoying the tomatoes from my neighbor and her COVID garden. That was it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Anita. Very thorough, very charming. And I think we're going to do the general evaluation with Angel first, and then we'll go for who were the winners. Angel?
Thank you, Jessie. That was a really great meeting. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
good. I enjoyed everything that you did. That was your first meeting, and I think you did really great. And my advice to you is just relax a little bit more and smile. That's it. Have a bit more fun with it. You did great, and the meeting was managed very, very well with interesting and expert speakers throughout. Thank you all very much.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Angel. And now we'll, Jerry, you were the counter, right? Are you ready? Jerry, you're muted. Jerry, you're still muted. There you go.
Hello. Okay. I sent it to you in the chat if you want to look at it.
Oh, okay. I didn't see. There we go. Okay.
You can make him announce it if you want him to, honey.
So,
You don't have to do
Jerry,
everything.
would you like to announce? Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. The best speaker we have is Deanna. Yay!
Yay. Oh,
The best evaluator.
I
is-
didn't qualify.
no, wait a minute.
Well, they
Deanna
voted.
didn't qualify.
They voted for you anyway.
Oh.
Nobody discussed that afterwards, so they still voted. You were so good, they voted for you in spite of that. The best evaluator was Devin. Yay! And the best table topic was Lawrence.
Yay.
Woohoo. All right.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Thank you, Jerry, for counting up all those ballots. And thank you for all the participants, and congratulations to all the winners. And now I'll turn it back over to Deanna, our president.
All right, excellent job, Jesse, for your second time as Toastmaster. And we're looking forward to people who haven't done Toastmaster or Table Topics Master, jump right on in. It makes a big difference to be able to do things that are not regular for you. All right, so let's jump into the roll sheet. Okay. Looks like we need a Toastmaster for next Friday. We've got some spots, got quite a few spots open. So shout out who wants to be Toastmaster.
I'll do it, Deanna.
Who was that?
Paul.
Paul? Okay.
Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
And who was the other evaluator? I was looking at the names and I don't see evaluator.
For, you talking about today? Or are you talking about?
Yes.
Today is Stacy and Devin.
All right.
Okay. We got 2 speaker spots open.
I forgot. Who won, Stacy or Devin?
Now, Stacy evaluated Lucille.
Okay. Well, who, does it matter? Who won?
Oh, Devin.
Oh, all right.
Thank you, Megan.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hey, we need some speakers. Please shout out. It's a good time to practice impromptu speeches like Lucille mentioned today.
That's right. That's
Don't
right.
wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for times to practice. Just dive right in. That's when we learn, right? Gotta put the feet to the fire.
I haven't heard from Pat. Can I ask a speech question?
Sure.
Okay, I'm probably the only one here, but I've gotten super bored with like the pathways. The topics just are really boring to me. I'm sorry. So it's just like, no, I just haven't wanted to do these speeches because I'm kind of disappointed in it. And so, but I love Toastmasters. So can I do a speech that isn't anything to do with pathways?
Debbie,
Yes.
as far as the topic is concerned, you can pick whatever topic it is that you want for the project that you're doing. As long as let's say you're in level 1, it's any topic you want on level 1, or if it's level 2 research or project, it's any topic. It has nothing to do with the topic. So you fit the topic to the project that you're working. That makes sense?
Debbie, I can talk to you offline about that.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't know that, because it's always seemed to me it's a specific answer, talk about this subject. Hey, my dog, I'm gonna send my dog to the glue factory, you guys, I'm sorry. He's eating everything.
I gotta say goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.
All right, bye.
But Lucille has a good point that you can be very creative. Use it as an opportunity to be very creative but still maintain within kind of the guidelines of what Pathways is.
Oh, so you can make each fit to a path? Or you can go around to different paths?
Well, no, you can't change your path, but it depends on the project. So some of the projects are topic specific and some are open topic where you're just doing, you're using gestures in whatever topic you want. But for instance, like Deanna's, that was a specific topic that she was given. So she needed to speak within that topic. So it just depends on where you are in which path. But if you don't like where you are, we can take a look and see what can be done. But it just depends which place in Pathways you are. So some will have specific topics and some will be open to whatever you'd like to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, so just like Devin said, depends on your path and it depends on what level you're working. So level 1 and 2 will always be the same on any path. Once you reach level 3, that's where you get very creative, because it's, again, it all depends on the path. And then in that path, level 3, there is a project and there are different electives that you can pick from.
Okay, I'll do a speech next week.
Cool.
Cool.
Yay.
I'm gonna
I'm
try and
over
make
here,
it
Deanna.
Way to step up. Thank you.
This is Anita. I'll be general evaluator next week.
Wonderful. Thank you, Anita. Speaker number 2 and evaluator number 2 are open.
Stacy's raising her hand.
Who?
Me,
Stacy?
me, yeah. Hi.
Hi.
I'm in between because I got my certificate. I know it's hard to see these from the camera, but I got my cert. Yay! So I'm official now, but I am not. I have a pathway, but I haven't really looked at it yet. So I think maybe I will just do an impromptu speech next week because I have some new things I'm learning, and they're fun, and maybe I could just share about the fun stuff I'm doing.
Would love to hear you.
Okay. All right, I'll do
Tracy.
that. Make it a fun speech.
All right. And evaluator 2? Timer, chat monitor, watcher. Okay. So if you guys know how to go in and go to this row sheet. So if we can fill up some of these other spots, that'd be great. So we don't have to keep doing this at the end of every session. It'd be super helpful because we all want to grow, right? We're not here to be stagnant and be comfortable. We want to expand our horizons and do things that aren't always comfortable. So, and if you put your name down, if you want to change a date, don't worry about it. We can always move things around too. So don't feel like once you put your name down, oh my God, it's in cement. But we definitely have flexibility. Okay. Any other announcements? Anybody? I think Lucille?
So the Toastmaster International Convention, hopefully you got the email. It's open now, and I think you guys should attend. It will be very fabulous because it's free. It's the first time online, because normally it's in person, and the only way to attend is if you have to pay and fly somewhere. But this time it's going to be virtual, so please sign in.
Good point.
Can you jump in and out of it, or do you have to attend the whole thing?
No, you can jump in, because so once you're registered, they'll give you your password, is basically your name, and then there is a schedule, and you can pick which one you want. Yeah.
What is it called again?
It's a Toastmaster International Convention.
All right.
Yes, normally it's in person, and supposedly this term it was supposed to be in Paris, but because of the pandemic, it was canceled. So it's online right now. Next year it will be in Paris again.
And where do we go, Lucille, to?
It was emailed to all the members. So if you don't have it, I can forward it.
What day was it emailed?
It was emailed 2 days ago, but the actual convention is not going to be until August 24th it's like the whole week.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fantastic. Great seeing you guys. Good way to start the weekend. Take care and be safe.
Bye.
Deanna, you want us to hold back? Deanna?
Bye.
What's that? Yeah, sure. And Lucille, did you want to talk to me too?
Do you want me to? Yeah, if you want me to.
Lucille,
Yes,
Jesse, are you okay with Lucille?
Please.
Okay.
What are we doing, Deanna?
I'm sorry, Jesse, you wanted to talk, you said to hold
no,
on and
I
talk.
thought you had said you wanted us to, that was with everybody, but we forgot.
Oh, that was last week. Yeah. Last week, I didn't announce it last week, but then I think you had just jumped off. And
I
then
have
Stacy-
one question about the last convention. Which speaker was it? They were saying there was one speaker that was totally certified speaker or whatever. I didn't.
Yelena.
Who?
Yelena.
That was Yelena? Okay.
Yelena, yeah, she's the concert pianist.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I saw her whole thing. That was quite good. But I was thinking that the last guy that spoke, that he had so many credentials and won so many awards, that why wasn't he?
You're talking about last term when it was in person?
No, just this last weekend, the last guy.
Not last weekend?
TLI.
He was, we have just one presenter. So most of the time it's a presenter and then we have a keynote. So depending on what day you watch, when did you?
I watched on Saturday and there were 3 main speakers. They each spoke for about an hour.
Yeah, so the keynote was Yelena. The other one is a guy who did some improv thing. I can't remember. And then both are very good, very well credentialed Toastmaster. Been around for a while.
I enjoyed that, and that was nice that you could turn off your camera and do other things while you're listening.
Yeah,
that was him. All right, no, that's all. That's all I had. I just wanted to know who was the qualified speaker.